Hey there, and welcome to another episode of Psych and Sex Sundays with Dr. Sonya Maya. That is me. Today I'm going to be continuing what I was doing last week. I was reacting to this article from Love Pancake about what turns a girl on, what turns a woman on. And I think we got to number 6. And then I was like, I can't do this anymore. I don't have the capacity for this, but I'm going to continue now because some people said that they liked it. They found it entertaining. And sometimes when you go on the internet and look for dating advice, the first thing that you see is not good advice. And it's from these articles or blogs that are not very credible. So we might as well react to it as a therapist. If you like this kind of content, then hit that like. The like button helps. And hit that subscribe and watch until the end if you feel like it. I think the last one we were on was number 6 about passion. Passion is important. I agreed with the context of that one. Number 7, it says, women like birds. Like birds. All that bullshit's for the bird. Are turned on when they see their man showing off their dancing skills or belting out a song. Women like birds? Oh God. Okay. You might not be a quarterback or the basketball star, but if you can play an awesome riff on an electric guitar or strike the drums, then women are sure to line up to meet you. And then it says, read peacocking, what it is and the many types and why guys show off around girls. I'm kind of curious, what is this? Oh, it's another Love Panky article, peacocking. That makes sense because, you know, what peacocks do to attract mates, they show off their feathers. So yeah, maybe we'll react to the peacocking article in the future. But how do I feel about this piece of advice? Talent. You know, I do agree. Myself and my friends have said in the past that a man that has a passion and a talent, that can be really hot. So if somebody is a musician or a DJ or plays a guitar, that can be really hot to see them in their element, playing the drums. If you're a content creator, watching you create content. If you're a dancer, watching you dance, 100% I agree. It's good in general to have something that you're passionate about and a talent. That's just good as a whole, you know? People really care about making other people like them. So one way to be likable is to have something that you're passionate about and then to get really good at it. So finding something that you're good at and then working on it and getting better at it. And that in turn will help you maybe attract the opposite smegs or even the same smegs if you are not straight like myself, bisexual. Anyways, this is not the worst one in the world. Terribly worded, you know, not surprised. Number 8, a sense of humor. Okay. This is a good one. There's nothing that transforms an otherwise plain man into the man of her dreams than a few laugh out loud moments. LOL. It can be something that you did, a joke that you shared, or a funny story that warms a woman's heart. This is true. We love a sense of humor. If you ask most women what they are looking for in a partner, a lot of them will say a sense of humor, myself included. Very important. If you've got her cheeks flushed with laughter and her eyes shiny with mirth, you are halfway to her heart and in her pants. Who wrote this? Halfway in her heart and in her pants? Oh my gosh, it's so cringe. So cringe. It's like, oh, manipulate her with some jokes. Okay, who did write this? Vin Sarai. Okay. The founder of Love Panky. Having dipped his feet in almost every kind of relationship, ritual, and experience, and poured through tomes of research and books, he shares his thoughts and ideas to help you live your best love life when it comes to love, sex, dating, and any other aspect of relationships. Research? What kind of research are we doing, Vince Sarai? My guess is that websites like this, they get paid for the ads that are on them, because like every time I'm trying to scroll through, there's an ad that pops up. If you were to go onto Google and look up dating advice, this might be one of the first articles that pops up, probably because he pays to get it high in the SEO, the search engine optimization, because the more that people click on it and then click on the other articles that are kind of like waved in there, then the more money he makes from these random ads. But yeah, someone who can make you laugh is really, you know, that is a good tip. I'm not gonna lie. It's nice to have a nice sense of humor And a lot of people have different definitions of what a good sense of humor is. So if you align with the other person on sense of humor, then you're more likely to be compatible in other ways. For example, I think South Park is hilarious. So if I'm dating somebody who also thinks South Park is hilarious, that's a good sign that we have a similar sense of humor, because I do a lot of, research-based content, and I do my best to be like inclusive and not offensive, but at the same time, I like offensive comedy sometimes. Like Family Guy, South Park, Rick and Morty, hilarious. So it would be hard for me to date somebody who takes themselves too seriously or takes those types of things too seriously, even though I can definitely say with a lot of confidence that a lot of the things I've seen in South Park are not appropriate, and I wouldn't recommend them to certain people that I know.
Really worked it, Daddy. You really gave my little hole quite a stretch. That's it. Move in. Oh, God! It's the police! Freeze!
Anyways, let's move on. Number 9, compliments. Make her feel good by acknowledging or complimenting her. Make sure you give her a smile and a wink. She'll be loving it. Again, we don't know if she's going to like that. We don't know if she's going to like the smile and a wink. It depends on the context. Okay? And as it says here, as long as your compliment is genuine and comes from your heart, she'll appreciate every word of it. So we don't know if she'll appreciate every word of it. Not everybody takes compliments the same way, but I do agree that compliments can be really helpful. So it says some examples: tell her she looks nice today, compliment her outfit, or better yet, compliment her goals and ambition. Yeah, I do think that compliments can be really helpful, and I've talked about it in past videos. When it comes to the point of the relationship where you are intimate, it could be really helpful to compliment your partner, tell her how beautiful she is. That is going to help, because when you are feeling yourself and your partner is feeling you, and you're very verbal about the affirmations, especially in that spicy time moment, it can actually help improve the confidence of your partner and therefore lead to better pleasure and more comfort. I also agree that it's important that the compliments are genuine. So if you have a thought about someone, you're like, oh wow, your eyes look beautiful, like saying that instead of like just pulling something out of your ass, like don't say that you like someone's shirt if you think it's hideous, This one's not bad. And then, of course, he has read how to compliment a girl and make her blush. Of course. Oh, man. Yeah, because there's so many ads on here. Another turn on for women is a guy who can show wit without being arrogant. True. You have to be widely knowledgeable without being too nerdy. I don't agree with that, because a lot of women love nerds. I think I used to have a tank top when I was an adolescent that said I love nerds on it. What if you're dating somebody who's into anime? Sailor Moon, You might actually want to express your nerdy side if that's something that resonates with you. Yeah. One of the biggest problems I have with this is the generalizations of like all women want the same thing. Whereas when I talked about in the last video, it actually said in the beginning that all women are different. So this contradicts itself quite a bit. The way a guy carries a conversation is very attractive to women. So don't overlook this as one of the biggest turn-ons for girls. Yeah. The way that you carry your conversation is really important for sure. Carrying it with confidence. A big part of a genuine conversation is listening. So having good listening skills. People tend to feel validated when they're able to open up to somebody, and then a good way to show that you're listening is to repeat back what they said in different words, like summarize what they say. We do that as therapists a lot. It's called paraphrasing. I have a lot of practice in paraphrasing and a lot of practice in active listening and validation. It could also be good when somebody's talking to you to do some like slow head nods. Research shows that the more that you kind of like nod your head in a slow manner while someone's sharing, the more that they're going to keep talking and feel comfortable to keep talking. But if you go like this, then they might not want to talk, because be like, oh, are they like sick of what I'm saying? So body language is really important. Number 11 is being listened to. I was just talking about that. So women like to feel important. I mean, I think all of us like to feel important, but okay. So make her your sole focus when you're together. Be attentive to what she's saying and be real about it. No woman wants to get in the bedroom with you if you barely listen to a word she's saying. I get that the name of this article is what turns a woman on, but I don't like the manipulative nature of it and how it keeps reminding the person, if you want to get her in your bedroom, you better do this, and it's going to work every time. I'm like, oh God. I'm really big on reciprocity and making genuine connections, so I'd rather this list be more about how to connect with a person, and then if one thing leads to another, then maybe it ends up in the bedroom, then great. And I wish that the terminology and just the wording was more along the lines of like reciprocal sex than the vibe it's giving me, which is how to manipulate, how to hypnotize her into the bed, how to make sure that it happens no matter what. I don't love that. Even if she does get physically intimate with you, it's not going to be heartfelt, I guess, if you're not listening to her. Practice mindful listening, as this is one of the essential turn-ons for girls. So mindful listening. Okay. Of course, it links to another article, 37 Rules to Be a Good Partner in a Relationship and Better Your Love Life. Okay, so I'm assuming that this article has something to do with mindful listening. Number 12, working out together. Working out together is one of the biggest turn-ons for girls that often gets overlooked. When you exercise with your partner, you're both taking things to the next level without being sexual. This also gives her a good view of your physique. Ooh la la. And she positively associates you with feel-good endorphins from the workout. Women are fond of productive activities, so doing this together feels very fulfilling for her. Okay, again with like, it depends on the woman, of course. I would say that this is a good piece of advice if you're already dating. You know, let's say you're already going on dates. You can go on long walks together. You can go on hikes. If comfortable, of course, you can go to the gym. But a lot of women don't like gym dates. That's more of like a next phase of the relationship type of thing. But if you're already in a relationship or you're already dating long term, I actually do think, yes, working out can be really good, especially because of the endorphins and the feel-good hormones associated with working out. I've talked about this before, but it's actually a really good idea to have smegs after a workout because you get that high boost of testosterone and the feel-good hormones and the endorphins. So overall, it is a good idea to have smegs after a workout with somebody that's already, somebody who's already a consenting partner, you know what I'm saying?
Yes, I know what you were saying. You don't have to keep asking.
A lot of this article is more so how to get the girl vibes. So I don't really know if the working out together fits into that theme. Do one more, and then I think that's it. That's it for it. So let me find a good one. Okay, number 14 is chivalry. Show her that chivalry is not dead and that you're a valiant example. Make her comfort, safety, and security your priority when you're together and even when you're apart. I definitely agree with this. It's really important for a woman to feel comfortable with a man, especially because there's a lot of men out there that don't make women feel safe, and for good reason.
Why would you pick a bear? Why wouldn't you be... What? Are you out of your mind? Are you stupid? Why wouldn't you want to be left alone with a random man, you stupid bitch? I don't understand what I'm doing right now.
A lot of men out there that are very dangerous, you know what I'm saying? So it's really important to make someone feel comfortable in a lot of different ways. I mean, there's different ways to do this. I'll give you an example. Actually, let me read the rest. So just because you want to sleep with her doesn't mean you can't show her chivalry and respect. True. Show her what makes you different from the rest of the guys she slept with. That's how you turn her on. I was talking about it with some friends recently, and it reminds me of this post. I think it was on Instagram or on TikTok, where someone was saying that one way to really like turn me on and like make me wet, to ask me, text me when you get home. And a lot of people in the comments were like, oh my God, yeah, that's so hot. And then I also saw a comment that had a lot of likes that was saying something like, wow, the bare minimum turns you on. That's the bare minimum. And it's actually a good question. Is chivalry the bare minimum? I think it's really sad that people don't see it as the bare minimum, because I actually do agree that it should be the bare minimum, but unfortunately it's not. And I was talking about it with a friend recently There are a lot of men out there that don't understand the importance of chivalry and making a woman feel safe. Examples of this, there's so many examples, but for example, if you're like walking down a street, making sure that you are walking on the side of the traffic, getting the door for the woman that you're dating, pulling out her chair, paying for the date. I know that's a controversial one, but if a man is asking a woman out on a date, I do think it makes the most sense to pay for the date. And if you guys want me to, I can make a more extensive video on that topic. I myself have had a hard time with that one because I've met other people and I've seen other videos where people say the opposite because of feminism. But in a heterosexual dynamic or just any dynamic where somebody asks you on a date, I do think it makes sense to pay for that date. Not that every single date is going to have to be paid for in the future, but especially starting out. I think that's very chivalrous too. Respect in general can look like a lot of different things, but it definitely looks like consideration. Like having consideration for the other person's feelings, not assuming that just because you take someone to dinner or take someone on a date that there's going to be sex involved. That is very disrespectful. It's very important to understand that you can take someone on a date and it does not mean that they owe you anything. So that's something that I think that this article could do a good job emphasizing, even though it looks like it is written by a man, which there's a lot of men that understand this, of course, but the way that it's written, it's very obviously about a man because the way it talks about women and the fact that number 33 is about alpha male, being alpha male. So yeah, the article could do a better job in emphasizing that. But yeah, that's it for this article. If you want me to respond to other types of articles that you see online that have to do with dating advice, I'm more than happy to react to some awful or maybe some, we don't know if it's awful dating advice. If you want a therapist to react to it, I'm more than happy to do that. Thank you for watching this video. I do post every Sunday, and DM me on Instagram if you have a spicy time story that you find funny or embarrassing, because I'm doing a video next week, hopefully next week, where I'm going to be reacting to some funny and cringy spicy time stories. So if you have one, let me know. I am going to be posting anonymously, so if you submit the story, no one will know that it was your story. But if you're interested, here's my Instagram if you want to submit your story to my DMs, and hopefully I'll see it because my DMs on Instagram are messy. It's hard to see my message requests, but I'm going to do my best to fish out the spicy time stories. Everyone, please remember to make pleasurable decisions and decisions, and I will see you next Sunday for another Psych and Sex Sundays with Dr. Sonya Maya. Goodbye.